So today I wanted to film a little something to get you ready for Valentine's. I really wanted to do something super dark, super smoky for V-Day. Since it's right around the corner and I don't want you guys to have to spend an arm and a leg to recreate this look, I decided to use only drugstore and really inexpensive products. Although the drugstore has not been super inexpensive lately, I was just thinking about it and I paid like $11 for each of the newer things that I tried out in this video. Gotta calm down, Walgreens. We are not needing another Sephora. Although I was really impressed with everything I used today. I mean, honestly, a lot of the new products, this was the first time I used them on camera or at all, really. Everything performed really well, so maybe the price increase isn't so bad. I don't know. Also, this is my natural hair texture, so before anyone asks for like a hair tutorial or anything, this is how it is when I sleep with it damp and I don't blow dry it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the look and I hope you all enjoy. So I'm gonna conceal out my lips, just making sure all of my veins are covered, and this will also kind of help to prime the lips. We'll also just prime the lips because there is so much shadow that's going to be going on, and this will just kind of help it all to stay in place. I'm going to be using today the new Maybelline The Rock Nudes palette. This is filled with really smoky colors. I don't really know how they're calling this a nudes palette. We have a lot of really dark and smoky shades in here, so I'm actually going to wait to do my foundation. However, I will go ahead and prime my face just because this one does need a little bit of time to set. This is the Perfecting Primer from Hard Candy, one of my like all-time favorites. I probably got way too much. You don't need that much because it's a silicone-based primer. I'm going to take this lightest shimmery neutral color and just pack this onto a shader brush. This is gonna go onto the inner corner just to kind of define where I don't want color placed down. So I don't want dark colors too far into my inner corner, so we're just going to pack this down pretty heavily for a bit of life. I'm really excited because next I'm going to take this sort of purpley shimmery taupe. Can you guys see the amount of sparkle in that color? It's so beautiful. I haven't even swatched this yet, but look at how metallic. I'm so excited. I'm just going to pack this onto the center of my lid. Before we get into the ultra dark shades, I'm going to take this light cool toned matte brown and we're going to run this through the crease. So this was supposed to be the fun part. I swatched this black though, and while it doesn't look too awful upon like initial swatching, it really is not very pigmented. But it's all right because the Wet n Wild Color Icon Single Shadows never ever fail me, and this is super duper pigmented. We're just going to start to pack this onto the outer corner. As you can see, the transition from the taupe to the black is way too harsh right now. So I'm gonna go back into the Rock Nudes palette and take this charcoal color and just pack that right here for a slightly softer transition. So now we'll just blend a bit to ensure that the transition isn't too terribly harsh. I'll also take a bit of the charcoal on my fluffy brush, and really not too much of that because we're going to go into the crease. Also, I'll take the black on a more pointed brush, just bring that into the crease as well. And then once that's down, we can blend as well. And you'll just want to repeat these steps until you have your desired intensity and your desired blendedness. Okay, so I'm going to draw a quick line of liquid liner on my upper lash line. This is going to be a dramatic look, so I want the skin to have a bit of a sheen and just, you know, a little bit of life to it. So I'm going to use the Dewy Plus Smooth Fit Me Foundation in 120 because I'm pale AF right now. This foundation definitely melds best into the skin when you just use your fingers, so, and mine are clean. Side note, after I did my liner, I took like a little bit of a pizza break. And so I cleaned my hands afterwards because pizza. But then I realized like I'm like not a fun person to get pizza with. And I never really realized this before, but I'm trying to get away from eating as much cheese, but I freaking love pizza. So a lot of the fat in pizza obviously comes from cheese. So I get it with like light cheese. Like I'm always like barely any. Like I want enough to hold the toppings to the pizza, but barely any. And then I get tomatoes, green peppers, and I over bake the pizza. And I'm realizing now, like, this is why no one ever wants to order a pizza with me, because I'm like no fun. I just went under the eyes using my brightening concealer, and now I'm going to take a skin tone color concealer that's a few shades lighter than me right now. Gonna do a little upside down triangle here under the eyes, just to highlight. Also drag this down the nose, between the brows on the forehead, there on the cupid's bow. And whatever is left, I'll just bring it right under the chin. Now using a dampened sponge, I'm just going to start to blend this into the skin. Alright, so I'm just taking a little bit of translucent powder and I'm kind of baking the under eye. I'm also going to dust this wherever else that I highlighted. So here between the brows, I've already taken a bit on the nose. The cool thing about this foundation is you can set it like I'm doing right here, but it is dewy. So it's like the dewiness of it will come back through within maybe like 10 minutes. Your makeup lasts longer because you are setting it off with translucent powder. Now I'm going to use this Maybelline Master Contour Kit in the shade Light. We're gonna take this under the cheekbones. I'm also just going to take this under the jaw and on the sides of the nose. Now using this gigantic kabuki brush, I'm just going to press the powder under that contour. This blush in the same palette and lightly dab that on the cheeks. I'm just gonna blend out that powder. I left it kind of set under the eyes. The reason I like to blend this after blush is because usually it'll also kind of tone down the blush and just make it meld a bit more into the skin. I'm going to use the highlight shade in this palette. Just lightly place that on the tops of the cheekbones. I'll also put it right here at the tip of the nose, cupid's bow, and then whatever is left on the brush, I'll place it here at the forehead and also on the chin. I'm gonna take a bit more of the matte face powder, and this will be our brow bone highlight to start with. I'll also just use it around the corners of the shadow to clean up. And now I brought you guys in. I know that it kind of goofed the lighting a bit, but I'm just going to work on my brows. My favorite drugstore brow product is the e.l.f. Instant Eye Lift Pencil, or Eyebrow Lift Pencil. Then right under the tail of the brow, we're going to take the shimmery highlight from this palette for a bit of an added lift. This is just a bonus step I like to do when I'm doing super dramatic or kind of special occasion looks. I used a bit of clear brow gel on the brows, just use Milani brow gel for that. And now I'm gonna work on the lower lash line of my eyes. We'll start off just using that matte light brown. Smudge that bad boy right down here to make things easier to blend later on. Then I'm gonna take that charcoaly dark gray shade and I'm going to bring that about 2/3 of the way into my eye, just to bring the darkness down here. Then we are going to take the darkest of the dark shades, going back into this Wet n Wild Icon single shadow, and we're just going to pop this on the very outer corner. I'm keeping this quite close to the lash line. And then whatever is left on the brush, I'll kind of define my outer V with this. I like a slightly more cat-eyed shape no matter what shadow I'm doing, so I just like to redefine with whatever is on the brush. Now I'm just going to use a small fluffy brush and we're going to blend out that lower lash line and also work a tiny bit on the crease just to make sure everything is nice and blended through there too. So this is super high maintenance and you really could just use the highlight from this palette, but I love this highlight so much. It's the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in Reserve Your Cabana, and I'm going to be using this right on the inner corner because it is such a pretty color and it really does add a lot of life to the eyes without being too shimmery. But I will also take a little bit of the shade from the Rock Nudes palette and dab that here too, just to ensure everything just sort of melds and blends together and this inner corner highlight doesn't look like a completely different shade than what is on the lid. So now that all of my powder products are officially on my face, I'm going to be using the new Maybelline Master Fix Bare Boosting Setting Spray, and I've never used this before, so keep your fingers crossed. Okay, so I put on a bit of black liner on my inner rim of my eyes. I use the NYX Slide On Liner in jet black for that. It's not a very pretty process, so I just went ahead and did it off camera. Then I applied a little bit of mascara. Again, just use a drugstore mascara. My lashes today are going to be the Morphe #1 lash. If you wanted to recreate these at the actual drugstore, I just think anything that's a little bit more full rather than super long is gonna work best. My look is so dark, I'm also going to be using a bit of black lash glue. This one is from Revlon. Lashes were not playing nice with me, you guys. It took me a couple of minutes to get them on. I also applied a bit of that mascara just to the lower lashes. Now I'm gonna work on lips, starting off with NYX Mauve Lip Liner. And I'm going to top it off using ColourPop's Ultra Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is like a $6 lip product. It's so inexpensive. And this is called Lumiere 2. And as you can see, it's just this beautiful, beautiful mauve color. So that's gonna do it for me. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye!